Greetings, YouTubers! Big Jim, London Taxi International, on a 2003 plate with 186,000 miles on the clock, a TX2, or did I just say that? An old London black cab and still counting. I thought I'd just touch base with you. Talking about the London black cab, I've been over and had a look at her in her dry store. She's as flat as a pancake, as we probably knew that. I've got two options. I'm either going to try and charge up the battery that's been sitting there now for a while. I should have used an optimizer charger on her, but I didn't. Or I'm just going to get a new battery and throw her in there. I'm looking towards probably in the next 2 or 3 months of because of coming out of lockdown. We are coming out of lockdown. Can you believe it? Well, and if we come out of lockdown, then the meets will sort of start to get there, and we'll meet with a load of other taxi nerds, and we can all talk taxi, and we'll get the old big taxi on the road. So she's declared sawn at the moment. She's feeling very sad for herself. She needs another polish and a bring back, but don't worry, she'll get back on there. And I need to stick a fresh MOT on her as well, which won't be a problem at all. So that is it. Haven't been able to do much because of this lockdown that we're currently in. But Bojo has now told us we can open our doors again, and we can go out and visit people, as long as it's not in bigger multiples of 6. Pubs are going to be open next week. Unfortunately, only on the outside or people with gardens. I did notice a few of the pubs around by where I am, they're putting marquees up. I'd imagine you're still going to have to practice social distancing, but big marquees are up. And I'm probably guessing as well they got the internal heaters in there, so they're going to sort of throw us all into a big top, and we're all going to be thrown into a big top until the big launch date. I believe it's sort of the end of May, June, and they reckon all the stops are going to come off. What a year, gang, what a year. It's been something that none of us have ever experienced before, and I just hope and pray that we're at the back end of this now. I really do. I know that Chris Not So Witty has said that there'll be no more lockdown. They've now downgraded the virus now to almost like a flu-like virus, and lessons have been learnt. And would they have done what they done from the start of shutting us all down? I mean, we've all got our own personal views on that. I don't know. I mean, all I know is that there was talk at one point of extending it, and I thought, I can't give up any of my life. Any more of my life. I cannot give up any more of this life that I've got left in me in lockdown. I'm a real gregarious, sort of get involved type of person. I like people. I like to be out and about, as most of us do. And to be forcefully incarcerated is just, it's just debilitating. It really is. I've put on weight. I've not got fitter, where I've been sort of coming home from work and just sitting down, where I'd go out and do something and be out, even if it's only a beer, and standing up at the bar. Now I come home, I slunk down in the chair, fall asleep. So I put on weight, which needs to come off. I know that. I do check my blood pressure, and it is still good. My blood pressure's not up at all. How and why, I don't know. But I've still got the nice skin, and I'm itching to get back into the pub with a few friends and just have a drink. I mean, is that too much to ask in this poor world? This is if we got any pubs left. Any of the old traditional pubs are going to be left when we eventually make our way back into pub world or into entertainment world. Hopefully it will, and then what will tie in with that, I'll get Poppy back out on the road, we'll all be out and about again. Excuse me, I'm not tired. I am not tired. I've been out here at the moment playing around with a coupe. I've called a coupe Cooper because it's a JC Cooper. And I just been out here playing with her today, doing a few bits and pieces on her. She had a couple of little niggling faults on here that have been cleared, mainly, and they're known for it, these early ones. Now I know I'm doing this blog, it's meant to be for London taxis, but I've got to tell you about these cars. Talk about the R53 Minis, talk about being too advanced for what they are. I looked up online and I've got two digital displays here. I've got the round clock that's meant to imitate the old Minis with a round clock in the middle with all the functions and the radio buttons and everything, and there's another clock here on the right which is the rev counter, and that's got loads of bits and pieces on as well. Between the two of them there's over 130 different warning lights that this car can throw up, and in the short time that I've owned her, it's thrown up quite a few that even I scratch my head thinking, what the flipping hell does that mean? A line with a dot and a star and and so I've had to consult my trusty old YouTube, obviously, and because this is a lot newer car, and I've got an OBD reader which I've been playing around with today, which bit by bit, fault wise, I've run around all the faults, clearing not just the fault codes, the faults as well. And we've got this now running with no lights, no Christmas tree lights up on the front at all. She's light free now, showing absolutely nothing. I've reset the service lights as well because it's just had an oil change, and also there was an injector leak, and so the rail's been removed, and that's been new injector seals have been put all the way on all 4 cylinders, and so all fault codes now are totally wiped. And at the moment, looking at it, I've got the only light that I've got up here on here at the moment is the seatbelt warning light, because I'm not wearing a seatbelt. So let's just see how things go, and if things don't, then it'll be plug in the OBD again and just see what this fault code kicks up. I class these now. Obviously, I'd imagine a lot of the people that look at this vlog are on the sort of years around that I am, sort of on the sort of other side of 30, let's just say there, and you will remember the times of the Haynes manual, that dog-eared old Haynes manual that we used to have on all our Mark 1, Mark 2 Cortinas, all those old cars that we used to have that didn't have the facility of OBD readers then, and if it went wrong, we pulled the dog-eared Haynes manual out of the boot, flicked through it, went through the fault finding bit at the back, and then ended up taking our cars to pieces, putting them back together again with not too many nuts and bolts left over, and the car went again. We learnt about how a car works, why it doesn't work, and the early cars, the early Fords and the early Leylands frequently never used to work. How many of us remember getting up? Please leave your comments below, guys. I can't be the only one. How many of us remember getting up for work of a morning, leaving it a bit late, jumping in our cars, turning it over, car just spinning, slight damp in the air, underneath the front of the bonnet with WD-40, spraying the underside of the distributor cap with WD-40, drying out all the wet, and then getting someone to try and turn it over for you just before you get a nice belt off the HT side and sent a flipping 50,000 volt shock down your right arm, down to the floor, just to jump start yourself of a morning. Ah, happy days, happy days. Well, we've now done away with the Haynes manual now, and we've got the electronic version in this. that checks so many different things. I mean, for the lazy man in the street, it's even checking the power steering fluid and checks the oil levels, every level in the car, oil-wise, brake fluid levels. It does absolutely everything. Goes around the whole car, does all the check for you, and then tells you what's not working. Stores it in its database. You go in there, fix the part, fix it for what's matter with it, or top it up with oil, or do whatever else you need to do. And once you do that, you then clear it with the fault code reader. So that's basically what you do. It's like a Haynes manual, but it's the Haynes manual for the lazy man in the street, the lazy bugger that just wants to plug it in, sit here, let it go for its 30 seconds, and actually tell you what's wrong with it and what it needs doing. It works because I've got no lights at all now on this car. It's absolutely light free and it's running beautifully. So but it's not a taxi, it's not an LTI London Taxi International. So I'm at a dilemma at the moment. The taxi's now on the road, not on the road at the moment. Should I start a second channel and bore you twice as much in stereo on Mini Clubman diesels, keeping a Mini on the road, or shall I incorporate it in with this one until the taxi's on the road? I don't know. I'll be led by you gang down there. Anyway, I'm going to go now because people are walking past, looking in here, probably think I'm going crazy, talking to myself again, but I'm not. I'm talking to my couple of 100 subscribers now and climbing. I will be back. In the words of Arnie, I'll be back. And when I do come back, we'll be back bigger and bolder, but not me much bigger, please. I can't afford to put on any more weight. I will catch you all again. It's a beautiful sunny day today on Easter Sunday. A beautiful day today. And hopefully in the next few weeks I'll be able to give you a bit more information about getting Poppy out and polished up, and hopefully some of you that have got your London taxis there, or if you're around it and fancy a meet up, we can meet up somewhere and just over a coffee or something like that, and we can talk everything that's taxi and possibly a little bit that's Mini driven as well, Mini checkered version. Apart from that, there's not a lot else to report back. I'm going to pop indoors now and either crack the top off of a nice bottle of beer, or I'm going to have a cup of tea for the remaining part of the afternoon. Gang, as always, it's a chore, never a pleasure. Wrong way round. It's a pleasure, never a chore. And I will catch up on you in the next few weeks. Please leave your comments below if you want me to do more on the Mini and mucking around with the Mini, or do you want me to just reserve it for the London Taxi International? Whatever you want, I'll be very accommodating. All right, gang, you take it very easy. Big Jim, London Taxi International, 186,000 miles on the clock and counting, saying arrivederci, and I will catch up with you all very soon. Ciao, gang.